This is Kevin with Space Cadets, and I'm here. I'm excited about this video today. I'm installing one of these for a good friend of mine. So this is the Unifi Dream Router. I'll be honest, it's a little cute. Finally in stock. I've been looking for this for my friend for probably 3 months. We installed a few U6 lights for them a while back. Ooh, probably actually more like 4 or 5 months. This is in stock for the first time in quite some time. We'll see how long that lasts. But it does seem like it could be a little perfect home router. Just that nice combination of capability and stability and performance that you would want. And you might not get from just a single point router or from like a wireless mesh system that may be doing a lot of back-end data hauling through the wireless. And I'm going to switch over here. This is a Wi-Fi 6, so not 6E. It's not using the 6 gigahertz spectrum, but it's a Wi-Fi 6 router, and it does come, you can't see it here, I'll show it in a moment, but there is a little SD card slot here, so you can set it up for a security camera with the Unifi Protect application. It also includes 4 ports on the back. 2 of those are PoE ports. So what this device is really nice for is for having the router itself and then connecting to additional access points via Ethernet that are powered by a PoE to help provide a really stable, broad Wi-Fi coverage. So for your house, if you have a multi-story house, if you have a house that's a larger house, a bigger footprint, and you have dead spots in different areas, something like this device would work really, really well because you can have it set up in a central location, but then wire out to other spots and really broaden out that coverage for your house. So it fits all the boxes. It, again, is not Wi-Fi 6E, but frankly, there's not a lot of devices that support that anyway. So I wouldn't be overly concerned about it. But I want to dig into this a little bit, get into the setup, and see how this works, because I think what this would really do well, or what it should do well, is help to be that kind of upgraded networking device for a home user that isn't overly complex, but gives you really good performance and really good stability. Now, I run a UDM-Pro in my house with Unifi access points, and I will say I've had some niggles here and there with Unifi applications, but the network performance and the Wi-Fi has been incredibly stable and incredibly solid. And I've gotten out of that routine of once every month or two having to reset a router. It's just always there. It's always consistent, always performs. So let's dive into this a little bit. I will note there's another device here, the Unifi Dream Machine, which came out previously. This was a more expensive device. It was $299. Now, technically, it's still on Unifi's page, but this is only Wi-Fi 5. It is actually a more powerful piece of hardware, but it doesn't include PoE ports. So you would need to use injectors or get a PoE switch. And given that it's Wi-Fi 5, I don't know if it makes too much sense. It's really, you could get a Dream Router, which is $199, or you can bump up and you could get to something like Dream Machine Pro or Dream Machine SE if you want a more robust bit of functionality. So I would stay away from that original Unifi Dream Machine, which again has the same form factor, but is a bit outdated at this point in time. So I'm gonna plug this guy in and let's start to boot it up now. It's got nice clean hardware. Power supply is integrated in this, so it's just a single cord and it's just a regular outlet at the wall. It doesn't take up a lot of space. And get this plugged in. We'll let it boot up here. And then see if we can get this kind of up and running. So I'm going to let this boot, give it a few seconds, and then we can get going again. All right, so it's been going through its boot up process, and I'm going to come over here and see, I've got this plugged directly into my PC here. And here we go. So it's going through a bit of a boot process. We'll see how this goes. But this should be up in just a second here. All right, looks like it's back up and running. Now, one thing you'll note, you can see here this little slot. That's for the SD card slot. Just made a little bit of noise for me. And I'll actually show just very quickly on the device itself. They have this little thing here, and you can pull this out. I'll just note very quickly. There's a little micro SD card slot. So if you want to run a Unifi camera, Unifi Protect camera off this, you just need to put some storage in here, toss it back inside, almost like a SIM slot for a phone. And you can do that. Now, coming back over to this, let's do setup. So first, they're going to need an internet connection. This is where it's going to be a little bit of an experiment, because I'm going to have this be double natted. What that means is I have my regular router sitting in front of this. We'll plug this in. And I'm not going to do anything too fancy in terms of advanced settings, because if you're looking at this, this might be a great home router for you. You probably don't need to dig into a lot of complexities with VLANs and a lot of different things. So we've got it set up and running for this. Ashbury Manor. We'll agree to the terms. And this is going to be a personal setup. It's for a friend's house. Now, I'll pause this. I'm going to put in my credentials, and I'm going to add them as data. And here we are. So now it's booting up the network application here. And if you wanted to run Unifi Protect, you'd also see that this is going to be the overview console. Now, this is where you can do general administration, right, for Unifi ecosystem, set up administrative accounts, user accounts, etc. So you can keep track of who is actually added to these items. And we'll wait as this gets the network set up. So we're back up and running. The network application is updated, and we'll jump right into that. So the device has gone through its updates. So you can see there's now 2 applications that are available. This can only run the 2 Unifi applications, the network and Protect, which is the security camera. But I'll click into the network application. Now, there's not going to be a lot going on, right? Because ultimately, this is just a test setup, but you can get a feel for what it looks like. Now, I do believe one of the differences between the Dream Router and the older Dream Machine Pro is you don't get the IPS and IDS, which is intrusion prevention system and intrusion detection system. And those are nice little extra safety features, security features. I do use that for my own home network. I doubt there's a lot of stuff that's happening, but it's nice to have that. I believe that's not available for the Dream Router. So that is a bit of a change. We'll let this boot up. So you'll notice you can actually, it's kind of cool, you can see over here on the image what ports are plugged in. So if, for instance, I unplug my computer, and wondering how rapid it might be to detect these things, plug it into a different port. If I refresh the page here, oh, doesn't seem like it's detected that change just yet. Yep, now you can see, so it'll actually show you a little bit of what the connection status is on the device itself, which is nice. And then this is the normal Unifi network dashboard. Now, if we go into settings, this is where you can get into your details, right? Whatever Wi-Fi networks you want. You can have multiple Wi-Fi networks. It's as simple as just saying create a new Wi-Fi. So perhaps you want to have a guest network or something of that nature. It would be very, very simple to do so. You can specify if you only want a certain subset of APs to use it or not. So why don't we call it, we'll just call this guest, and we'll call it bus password again. And in this instance, if we say manual, we can make it a guest hotspot, right? So you can dictate whether or not you want people to have full access to your internet. If you have something like, let's say you're doing an Airbnb or a VRBO, it'd be nice to be able to set it up and you can kind of have folks get on a different network than your regular devices themselves. Or if you're just using this in a small shop, these are nice sort of features to be able to take advantage of. There's lots of other capabilities in here that you can set up. You can do filtering based on either a MAC or a Radius, which is a more kind of robust server-based filtering. So all the traditional Unifi stuff is here. Now I'm not going to add this guest network, but I could add more if I wanted to. I can create additional networks as well, subdivide to create up subnets for my house. Now, if you have lots of Internet of Things devices, it is good practice to keep them separate, so you can do that. I'm not going to get into that detail here for the video. But lots of different things are in place. And I haven't gone too much into the VPN capabilities for the Unifi network application, but I do know they do have now their teleport. This is kind of a one-touch zero config VPN for your phones or devices. And there are more robust Unifi VPN configurations that are available. So all that stuff is here, which is nice. Now, a lot of the things that this is Unifi network information is really nice for, as you can see lots of details around, what services are, being accessed both from a download and an upload perspective. You can get a great view. Now you won't see it here, but you can get a great topology view of the different devices. And that's something that I actually really like, to be able to see what's connected and how are they connected with the network and any individual devices. Now you can, again, rename things to what you want. So, you can create these sort of aliases that makes it easier for you to understand what devices are what. So we'll let this go through and refresh this. And now we'll see I've relabeled my computer from SD1 to the big desktop. And you can do that for any device. So it makes it easier to be able to delineate, like, hey, whose phone is whose. Once you identify what it is, it makes it nice and simple. So lots of good stuff. Now, one thing I do want to take a look at, I have a very, very old Unifi AP. This is a Wi-Fi N AP, so that would be what was Wi-Fi 3, Wi-Fi 4. And I'm not certain actually if I'm going to be able to get this to work, but this is so old that this is actually powered by a 24-volt passive. This couldn't be plugged directly into the device's PoE ports, but more modern Unifi APs or other companies, you should be able to just plug it into one of the two PoE ports. This was, again, taken off of a job site where we did a full overhaul to Wi-Fi 6. This thing, I'm guessing, was approximately 8 years old and was still kicking, so doing the job well. Now, I'm going to jump back over. All right, so I did a factory reset on the device. Now I can see that it's managed by the console. It also says obsolete, which I can't say I'm overly surprised by. Ooh. I don't have this. Okay. Looks like it's just going to let me adopt it. Again, 8-year-old access point. A newer device will probably be a little easier and a little bit faster, but what I do want to cover, right, is we've got this simple little device, right? And just plug one of these in. Now, ideally, you'd be into just a regular PoE port, run that cable to wherever you want, put on an AP device in that other location. And at that point, you've now got an entirely new broadcast mechanism for your Wi-Fi. So run a cable in the back of your house, upstairs, etc. Really great way to extend your network. And the nice thing, and this is getting easier and simpler, Google Wi-Fi, a lot of these other mesh devices are much more capable than they were previously, but roaming, routing, getting kind of switched between the APs happens seamlessly in the background. And that's one of those nice things. So it's a single Wi-Fi network cast throughout your house. You can see some details around the connection, the AP groups, WLAN details, all that kind of stuff will show here. Now, I'm not certain actually if this device is still broadcasting Wi-Fi or not, but I would presume it is. And there it is. So we now have our multiple Unifi APs running off of this single Dream Router. And I'm going to unplug this for a moment just so I can. But a nice little device. It's also got this little screen here at the front, so it shows some bandwidth statistics and things like that, which is nice. A little bit of an upgrade over the original Unifi Dream machine. 199 bucks. I got to be honest, right? You get this, you pair it with a U6 Lite, which is a $99 AP, 2 of those. You've got a great, super solid mesh Wi-Fi network. Not mesh, excuse me. That's not a mesh, it's a hardwired Wi-Fi network. So if you do have Ethernet cables in your house, or you're comfortable running that or getting someone to install it, it's hard to go wrong with this. Especially the other piece we didn't get into here is you can plug in Unifi Protect cameras, and that is a nice little extra functionality that you can take those, plug them in, get them adopted into the system, and now you have both a networking and a home security situation. And additionally, because it stores onto the micro SD card in the back of the device, you're not constantly sending your video out to the internet, to the cloud. It's not sitting on someone else's server infrastructure. You can access it wherever you are. But that's one of the nice things about the Unifi Protect tool set, is it doesn't eat up all of your internet bandwidth, and it allows you to scale and add in cameras as you need. So I do actually have a Protect camera that I was using for another job. And so I'm interested. Let's see. We can quickly go. So this is an AI bullet. I'm actually going to RMA it because I had some other issues, but I do want to just get a quick sense for plugging this in here. Again, one of the benefits of these PoE ports is you just need a simple cable. And then I'm going to switch this over so we can take a look at what we're seeing here now. And we do have some oddities. I'm going to come over here to Protect. And let's see what we can find. Oops. Did disconnect this from the internet, but let's see. Okay. All right. Now I can do a click to adopt. And so you can see, just as an example of a process that was incredibly quick to adopt it. Now look at these very awesome camera angles for myself. But yeah, so if you wanted to get a sense of the process for adding in security cameras, again, very fast, very straightforward. And that is one of the nice things about this. If I come back, you just have to have a single cable. Now, there's mounting hardware and stuff that we're missing here. There's a much more robust set of hardware that's used to actually put this up on a wall. But all you need is the Ethernet cable. You've got 2 PoE ports, so you can do 1 security camera and you can do 1 Wi-Fi access point. You can do 2 access points, or you can do 2 security cameras. There is a limit on what the Unifi Dream Router can do in terms of cameras. It is a pretty good device for $199. And if you're looking to just get a better Wi-Fi experience in your house, I would certainly recommend this. The U6 lights are great access points to add into this. Small, compact, good Wi-Fi acceptance factor, in that it's a kind of a cute and Nice looking piece of hardware, relatively compact, and can fit a lot of needs for $199. So I would definitely recommend it, but I'll note it's hard to find. Got a sense of adding an access point, got a sense of adding a camera. I hope this was helpful. This content, these videos, they do take time and effort to pull together. So if you enjoyed this, like, subscribe. I do appreciate it. It's a great bit of feedback. And also if you have questions, follow-ups, put something in the comments. I'd be happy to respond to you. And with that, call it a day. Thanks, everyone.